I personally would just stick to what you can do, get moving around, make it feel comfortable, eliminate the mental barrier that a lot of people have, maybe training outside, maybe shadow boxing in the gym. I see it all the time. Work on your jab in every direction, work on a punch in every direction, right? What do I mean by that? Here, get a good stance, step, jab, step, step, jab, pivot. We're looking for good technique, efficiency, good punching, maintaining relax, maintaining a good stance, right? Really put some purpose and some mental thought into what you're actually doing and think clearly about what punches you're throwing, right? For example, right here, I'm just gonna bop. Morning everyone, I hope you're doing well today. Thank you for tuning in. As always, massively appreciate anyone tuned in. Shout out to all the subscribers. Gratitude to anyone new, welcome along. This video, we're going to be talking about practice, right? How to practice your punches in particular, but you know what to do when you are practicing. I'm going to give you a few pointers, a few no-nos on, you know, what punches you probably should and shouldn't do. And you know, as a beginner, this channel is for beginner. We're gonna move up the levels a little bit because, you know, a beginner is an open term where it could mean you just started out, or it could mean you're, you know, a few months in, you need a bit of guidance. So this video is going to be really important. I feel like I say that in every video because practicing is so important. You have to make sure that you're practicing the right way, right? Are you throwing the punches correctly, or are you actually putting the intent into practice? And this is something that's extremely important, you know, that I have a bit of a bugbear with when people just show up to practice and they're kind of chatting away, and you know, they'll just throw a few punches here, the punches aren't really committed, and you know, they're just kind of, then they'll hit the bag a little bit, they'll chat to their friends, and then they'll like get a little sweat on and think, you know, I already had a good workout today. And I'm like, did you? You know, so my point is, when you're here to practice, you're trying to get the best out of yourself, right? That's what I always try to do. And meaning that is like, you know, get the best out of each punch, right? Really focus on what you're doing, yeah? And have the intent and have the intensity to a degree. I'm not saying go crazy, you know? You gotta be smart about it, because being smart in boxing is, you know, your mind is your most powerful weapon, and you can do that whilst you practice, even as a beginner. What I mean by that is, and we'll get into the video now, look, if I'm throwing punches, right, and I come out and I'm just kind of throwing, I see a lot of beginners come out, they'll just throw punches like this, and you know, there'll be no thought behind it, there'll be no purpose, there'll be no intent. Every single punch is technically going to be a little bit flawed. So break it down, get a good stance. As always, massively important, okay? I won't really talk too much about the stance, but you don't want to be square on. You don't want to have your arms flared up like this, right? Simple stuff. You want the hands, right, just running down your cheekbone, elbows on the rib cage, you know? As I said, shoulder, you know, your front shoulder at the front here, my back shoulder here, so my target is a little, you know, not so square on. It's basic stuff really, but you want to try to maintain that and think clearly about what punches you're throwing, right? For example, right here, I'm just gonna pop the jab, and I'm gonna try to get a good technique on the jab, right? While maintaining a good stance, while maintaining my chin being down, right? I don't have to move too much. Again, I'm trying to gear this to quote unquote beginners. So I'm not gonna move that much, but you know, if you are a bit more inclined to move about a little bit, but focus on what punches you're really trying to throw, right? Okay, bam, jab, right? Okay, 1, 2, combination. Now, combinations, I've made videos about, you know, the rule applies, right? When you throw 1, 2, 3, the punches don't, you know, there have to be some synchronicity there. So you could just stick with 1s and 2s, 1, 2, right? That's okay. Use a little pivot, side shuffle around a little bit. This, I guess, is going to be a little bit of a shadow boxing video as well. But I just want you guys to get moving, get out there, but just think about what you're doing is where I'm going with this, right? Really put some purpose and some mental thought into what you're actually doing. Again, I'm gonna drill it home. Do you have a good stance? Are you relaxed? Is your balance good, right? What punches are you throwing? Are you committing to each punch? Meaning, is the jab fully extended? Is it straight? Are you shooting it from your chin? Boom, is it coming back to your chin? Punching from the chin, having a good stance and good balance is something you can do right now, okay? So again, is your jab coming from your chin? Is it straight? Is it coming right back to your chin with your elbows right back on your rib cage, right? Something you can just practice on, no problem. Boom, right? Nice and relaxed. Boom. If I'm throwing a 2, 1, 2, they both come back to my chin. And I'm here. And I'm not throwing a million other punches after that, right? I'm moving a little bit. I'm thinking, yeah? Jab. This is what I'm saying. This is how important the thought process of what you're actually doing is so important, because this is how you develop your IQ from a very young stage, okay? So this is like the IQ, your mind in this sport is your most powerful tool, all right? Yeah, I know footwork and keeping your hands up are the most important things, but in order to program yourself to do those things and to use them efficiently, it starts up here, right? And you can train that in practice, right? As I said, what are you actually doing? Okay, don't throw too many punches, and don't throw punches that you can't necessarily do just yet. I know that might sound a bit controversial, because I'm always all about you trying new things. Like, you know, if there's a combination, you like get creative, like boom, 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 boom. Like, that's all good now and then, but if you can't do it properly or consistently, I would personally advise you to just keep it simple. Get the punches that you can do and build up your confidence that way, you know? That's just my personal opinion, you know? There's a time and a place for learning different combos, but for now, when you're practicing, I personally would just stick to what you can do, get moving around, make it feel comfortable, eliminate the mental barrier that a lot of people have, maybe training outside, maybe shadowboxing in the gym. I see it all the time. At the end of the day, as I said last time, I'm out here talking to myself. There's people around here walking dogs, and, you know, there's a couple of people that play football over there. I just, you know, at this point, I just zone it out and I'm focused on what I'm doing here. Yes, I've got more experience, but it's my advice to you is the quicker you can get past that matrix, and I mean that is like you're stuck in that matrix world of not letting yourself be the best version of yourself and worried about what they're saying. Nah, man, do what you're doing, right? Big part of this channel is not just boxing, but self-improvement, motivation, discipline, encouraging people to be the best that they can be. And you only can be the best you can be when you actually focus on what you're doing, right? And you know what? Enjoy yourself, right? Shadowboxing is actually a lot of fun. I absolutely love it, you know? Put a bit of footwork in. You don't always have to throw punches, you know? I'm just here, keeping the footwork tidy, right? What do I mean by that? One step, one foot follows the other. I'm going left, my left foot goes left, I'm going right, my right foot goes right, I'm going back, forward, pivot. Keep it simple like that. Step, jab, pivot. Back, cross, hook, roll. Okay? Keep it simple. I'm still thinking about the punches that I'm throwing or not throwing. I'm still thinking about being balanced. Well, I'm not at the moment, but I want you to think about being balanced. I want you to think about being relaxed constantly. Right? Constantly. Is my technique good? Bah! Yeah? All right, that was okay. Record yourself. And this is actually really, really important. And maybe you might record yourself and you not quite know what you're looking for, and maybe you don't want to even look at yourself. It's like, you know, when you listen to yourself on voice record for the first time, you're like, oh my God, get it off. Maybe you're going through that. Face it, telling you, because then you can really see what mistakes you're making and you can correct them. And that's what it's all about. Getting better and better and better. But I can promise you, recording yourself and watching yourself back at what you're doing it will be a very powerful tool for you if you really apply yourself properly and go, okay, I saw that wasn't quite straight. I don't look particularly balanced there, you know. These punches are a bit kind of, you know, I see beginners do this or throw a million punches like that. That's pointless, okay, because you're not thinking. Okay, get out there and think, right? Again, keep your hands up. Move if you just need to move, yeah? Side shuffle. Hands up, nice and relaxed. I've got a good balance. I'm here. Jab. Good technique. Boom. Jab. All right, this is fine. You could just do it with a jab, footwork, being relaxed. You could do that. Start with that. Throw one punch. All right, work on that jab. It's the most important punch. Jab downstairs. Here. Jab upstairs. Good technique. 1, 2. If you really want to throw a 1, 2 in there, cool. Do that. Side shuffle. You know, now here's a good way to practice one punch, right? By moving in every direction. This is targeting, you know, beginners that have boxed a little bit and understand what they're doing when they're outside or in the gym, right? Work on your jab in every direction. Work on a punch in every direction, right? What do I mean by that? Here, get a good stance. Step, jab, step, jab, step, jab, step. My feet are set, then I punch. Step, punch. If you have to do it as slow as that, you have to do it as slow as that, that's fine. We're looking for good technique, efficiency, good punching, maintaining relax, maintaining a good stance. These are things that you can do, I promise you. Just take your time, all right? There's no rush, okay? Step, jab, step, jab. Is my hand up here? Is my elbow down here? Step, jab. All right, beautiful. Now we'll go in the other direction, right? I can go forward with this. Step, jab, step, jab, step, jab, pivot. Let's go backwards. Step, jab, step, jab, step, jab. Let's go right, right, jab, step, jab, step, jab, okay? You get my point. You could do that in any direction you want. You can do it with any punches that you want. But that's going to be important for you to be able to go in any direction, throwing any punch eventually. And sometimes I like to finish with like a real close-up on technique as well. I think it really helps. Hopefully one of these days we'll get some sun. It's always really cloudy. I think when the sun comes out, I'll be able to zoom in a little bit more and get some better frequencies and really show you, because a big part of this channel is a little bit of photography and artistic style of shooting, and just, you know, using what kind of nature gives me, essentially, you know. And at the end of the video I want to talk about how you can help better your next day, because that's about it too. Self-improvement in this channel is a massive part of it. But for now, if we're just talking about technique, hands on your chin right here, rib, they just run perpendicular right down the cheekbone, right? Elbows on the rib cage right here, and shoot a straight jab right back here. Boom. You can do that, I promise you. Don't go fast, just go at the right pace from right here. Boom. Left, boom, left, boom, left, boom, boom, left, boom, left, boom. One step, jab. One step, jab. Back, jab. Forward, jab. Like, I know you can do that, right? And as I said, record yourself, look for the mistakes, understand what you're doing wrong, take your time, clear your mind, focus on what you're doing, don't throw too many punches, get the good technique, have a good stance, good balance, be relaxed, keep it simple, all right? I'm gonna do a lot more of these practicing videos, because obviously practicing is a deep subject, as a lot of the boxing is incredibly deep, so I want to stress and get every angle of practicing, because, you know, I could make 1,000,000 videos on practicing, how to practice this, how to practice that. But for now, for the straight beginners, you want to get outside, practice, go to the gym, do whatever you have to do. But what I was going to say on self-improvement, let me just finish here. So try to plan your day the night before, right? This has been, you know, relatively new in the last 5 years for me, but it's working amazing. You know, it really is. I wish I knew it when I was a bit younger. You know, you can also think about what you're doing the night before you go to bed. Write it down on a list, things you really want to do in the morning, whether it be stretch, or write down some kind, grateful gratitude words about what you're grateful for. Maybe reach out to some people that you haven't reached out for, stuff like that in the morning. But I'm saying at night time, write the stuff down, think about what you're doing. When you wake up, you'll know exactly what to do. You go through your list, and when you start off, try to get up as early as you can. When you start your day off like that, I mean, it's just going to catapult you and transcend that day. It's, you know, obviously no one can control what a day is like, in the sense that you know, you don't know what kind of news you're going to get, stuff like that. But, you know, at least you give yourself a great opportunity to have a good day, you know, especially when you start off with some exercise in the morning, start off with some good healthy food, get in nature if you can, a bit of sunshine. You know, I always talk about this stuff. Maybe not everybody wants to hear it, but that's what really works for me. I'm in a great place, you know what I mean, because of all these stuff that you guys can do. I'm pretty sure of that. Anyway, been rambling a little bit this morning. I'm going to get back and, you know, carry on with my list. But, you know, I'll try and get a video out tomorrow. What is it, Wednesday tomorrow? Yeah, I've got loads of ideas coming, and I'm very grateful for anyone that's tuned in this far. I'm very grateful that people that have either enjoyed the videos, liked it, subscribed. You know, if you are new, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content. You know, it's got to come from here, and you know, I like people to show up and really put their all in and get something out of it too. You know, I'm here to help people improve themselves. So that's it from me. Peace, love. I'm out of here, boxing on the edge. Have a great day. Good way to drill some footwork while using a jab, right? It's called a buck step, where you can use any punch, but for now, step forward, jab, step to the side, jab, step back, jab, step to the side, jab. So you're connecting your feet with your hands, but the most important thing is to make sure your feet are set, right? So I'm stepping, bam, step, jab, step, jab. So yeah, just for basic simplicities, you're just gonna jab, step this way, and make sure you get good efficient footwork too. That's really important. So what I mean by that is you want a good stance. You want to end up in the same place. Bop, end up here, bop, end up here, bop, end up here, bop, right? Add a couple of punches in, right? So when you step, throw 2 punches. Step, 1 and 2. Step, 1 and 2. Step, 1 and 2. Step. Beautiful.